Good evening. My name is Jada De Leon, a proud member of Prep for Prep Contingent 35 and Trinity School Class of 2019.
And I'm Christine Duncan, proud mom of Jada and a Trinity parent. Go Tigers! In 2003, I made a decision to leave all I knew behind in Trinidad in order to find the best opportunities for Jada. I quickly landed a job working as a caregiver, and the child I was caring for had a play date on West 91st Street. I found myself in a beautiful church-like building, greeted by the sight of dozens of playful, happy children. This was Trinity School. Before leaving, I asked for registration information. I was surprised to learn that Trinity was not a public school, but independent, and required both admission and tuition. I looked at the figure quoted by the helpful assistant and assumed she had nicely converted the cost to Trinidad dollars. I looked at that figure and thought, I could do that. Let it be known that the US Trinidad exchange rate then was 1 to 6. And she had not converted that number. I realized my error, and I felt very discouraged.
Fast forward 8 years. I attended a public elementary school in Brooklyn. From time to time, I would get picked on for silly things like unfashionable clothes. But to be honest, I wasn't dressed to impress. Instead, I was proud to be that kid who loved reading, and I felt very cool strutting into English class every day with new insights. Now imagine my excitement when my mother told me about a program called Prep for Prep. In this academic boot camp, 4 principles reign supreme: excellence, integrity, commitment, and courage. For me, this meant I could become part of a community in which everyone cherished education and no one would care about the clothes I wore.
When Jada got into prep, I held her little hand in mine, looked into her eyes, and said, "Eyes on the prize, baby, eyes on the prize." From the first day of prep's classes, the workload put Jada's public school work to shame. I quickly nicknamed the program Mental Boot Camp. Jada spent late nights reading and annotating 40 pages of great literature like Homer's Odyssey. I bought the same books and read along with her, minus the annotating, of course, and said to her, "We'll burn the midnight oil together."
While there were many moments during the preparatory component where I felt overwhelmed, I thought about the implications the program would have not only for me, but for my family. I would be the first in my family to attend a private school, and hopefully one of America's finest colleges. I would be the beginning of a new legacy. Upon entering Trinity, I found myself between worlds. I was both a prep student and a Trinity student, and I wore both titles like badges of honor. Still, I felt the subtle tension that existed between my school life in the city and my Caribbean American life in Brooklyn, my identity as a prep and Trinity student. The test of my allegiances typically came at lunchtime, pausing nervously with my lunch tray between 2 tables. One with most of the prep kids, and another with new friends who had attended Trinity since kindergarten. Ultimately, I encouraged the 2 friend groups to interact and to bridge gaps that existed in the student body.
Trinity School quickly became our second home. Being a prep parent at Trinity lasted 1 quarter. After that, I was simply a Trinity parent. I jumped at the chance to co-chair the single parent affinity group, volunteer with the Prep Trinity 40th anniversary, and serve on the senior class fundraising committee. Jada could not be a happier student at Trinity, and I could not be a happier parent.
Attending Trinity has been one of the highlights of my life, and I owe so much of my success to the people at the school who have challenged me intellectually and bolstered my many passions. I ran 3 years of cross country, led the Latinx Affairs Club, and tutored French and Spanish on Wednesday mornings before school. I know just how few people from my community have access to an education as great as mine. So, I began to use tutoring and mentorship as a means to give back. On Saturdays, I tutored elementary students at an underperforming public school. I also tutor a Trinidadian American girl in my neighborhood, and together we focus on math and study strategies, all while chatting about the latest soca hits. I hope to inspire them to focus on their academics because, as my grandmother says, knowledge is the one thing no one can take from you. It is wealth in its truest form.
I stand here today humbled and proud. My daughter has gained much from two powerhouse institutions, and I am forever grateful. Prep for Prep believed in my daughter and others like her. The program has contributed enormously to her being a global citizen and a fiercely proactive young leader whose ability to celebrate diversity and conquer adversity is second to none. In December of last year, Jada was at her desk as I sat on her bed a foot away as she logged into her college admissions portal. We were both clutching rosaries. A blue video popped up on her screen. Bulldog, bulldog, bow wow wow, Eli Yale. Followed by Welcome to Yale University Class of 2023. Our eyes met and we burst into tears of joy. Because of Prep, my daughter and her fellow Prep seniors became courageous and championed through many obstacles to believe in themselves and in their dreams. We are Prep for life. Thank you all for your support.